የተጋበዛችሁ ኢትዮጵያና ትውልደ ኢትዮጵያን በሙሉ እንኳን በቅድሚያ እንኳን ወደ ዝግጅቱ በሰላም መጣችሁ እላለሁ። በዚህ ዛሬው ዝግጅት አጭር የመግቢያ ንግግር ለማድረግ ያህል የኢትዮጵያ ሰብአዊ መብትና ፍትህ ታስክ ፎርስ በአውሮፓ ይህንን ኢትዮጵያን ፊውቸር በሚል መሪ ቃል ስለ ኢትዮጵያ የገባችበት ክራይሲስ እና የወደፊቷ ኢትዮጵያ በሚል መሪ ቃል ኢትዮጵያን ፊውቸርስ ኤንድ ኢትዮጵያን ክራይሲስ በሚል መሪ ቃል ያዘጋጀውን ዝግጅት ምናልባት ታዳሚዎቻችን ሌላ በውጭ ቋንቋ የሚያዳምጡ የውጭ ዜጎችም ስላሉት የዛሬውን medium of instruction will resume with in English. We Ethiopians in Europe prepared a meeting about Ethiopian crisis and future. And now we are invited guests and ladies, you are welcome. The first session comprises 4 speakers. Ms. Anna Gomes from European Parliament and Dr. Awol from London Universities. And Yared Alnamariam, an activist, and Dr. Aragawi Bari will speak this. The first session comprises these 4 speakers. Now I'm going to describe, the first speaker would be Ms. Anna Gomes from European Parliament. Anna Gomes, a Portuguese citizen called Anna Gomes, and she has been various career structures since 1980s as European Parliament, and members of European Parliament since 2014 again, positions. She works at different positions as members of European Foreign Affairs, members of the Subcommittee of Human Rights, Human Affairs in Europe, members of the Subcommittee of Foreign Affairs at EU level. And Ms. Anna Gomes has different academic careers. She has got a law degree from Classic Universities of Lisbon in 1979. 1981, she has got a community law careers from National Institution of Lisbon also. In 1998, Summer Affairs at the International Committee, and she has got various publications, for example, various human rights publications in different websites published and read. And Ms. Anna Gomes has different decorations, for example, Grand Cross of Military Order chairs by President Forget submissions, and Ms. Anna Gomes and Ethiopia. Most probably, I focused just to explain her involvement as human rights related to Ethiopian human rights crisis at various levels. Ms. Anna Gomes is concerned and blasted European unions at European Commission's European human rights meetings. To mention few, Anna Gomes, European Member of Parliament, publicizing or had given interviews at ISAT about the arrest of Dr. Marara Gudina, and she also arranges different sessions at European levels to address Ethiopian crisis and human rights abuses. And she also blasted the European Union at different sessions. And now, Mr. Anna Gomes, due to different obstacles, we invited and she accepted our invitation, but due to some problems, she cannot attend the meeting at physical, and she is online. Ms. Anna Gomes, welcome. Continue speaking, please. Thank you.
very close to those in Ethiopia, from Ethiopia, who are concerned about their homeland, the people in Ethiopia, and what they are going through very, very difficult times. My message to you is of praising, first of all, the fact that you are united, that you are together, trying to find ways to lift your country out of the very, very complicated, hard situation in which the country of felt, and the people of Ethiopia find itself, and felt the oppressive nature of regime, which has been all trying to divide peoples of Ethiopia in order to rule. You know well that this has been strategy to divide and be able to rule. So I think, from all I know from Ethiopia, I can only tell you that solidarity goes over Ethiopia, pursuing justice, because 2005, I called the other meeting of the wish of the people. So I don't think that I very much, but Ethiopia, democracy, justice, basic freedom. I know that Mary working, I know that a civilization of one of the most in Africa and in the world, full civilization. And I know that can. And you can beat this oppressive regime. I would urge you to indeed leave the different that I don't think religious was a problem. I think that Ethiopia, with all the religious diversity, with all the ethnic diversity, linguistic diversity, no one primacy. It's not a matter of the numbers, but I think both get on a national platform. This is the only way to act this oppressive regime. And it's the only way to make your vote. What I find, I think, since all the years in Ethiopia, Ethiopia is important as a main country, the headquarters of a country with over million citizens, with the Supreme Court. And it's very, here in Europe, or here, to mention, of course, two very large communities in the game. Be away, either repression, to find or of living. Despite where, there's no visit. And that's why they need to get away with all the bloodshed, with all the conflict in order to be able to rule. I think, particularly you, Frank, together in Germany, the Germany's country also with non-economic stories. Their agencies, such as the development agencies, try to speak to the German people so that they can do more money to support of this region. I can't think of incredible way for our European all the money that has been poured over the years in support of Brexit, and in total of European value and the development aid. What the lack of visibility reflects the lack of visibility in the European Union, despite all the effort that the European has tried to develop. We need to come and to show that it from out of the regime and the narrative of the regime, this regime needs in practice different European countries, in particular Germany, but as well if there don't even some who lend themselves in order to survive and keep working to serve strategy of supporting the team and every day. Poems about people for murder, as we have seen, and of course, all in Ethiopia, the majority of people that really down bloodshed, right? I just evoke Mererabina that all my feelings are with it in jail. Dare to speak up. These people in there to speak up. In there to try convergence could indeed in Ethiopia. I feel very, very strong about outrage, prison of the right after was in Europe, European Parliament, in Ethiopia. At the time when he spoke to us, there was suggestions that like 10, 11,000 jailed in Ethiopia. He said more. And of course, it's not just the time in prison, the disruption to the society, the torture, the killing, people experiencing cannot continue. And I think I also have very much in mind all the time many Ethiopians who also stood up for oppression, like Bekele, like so many others. They are just a few thousands that have been brave, that have been paying the years taken experience the unspeakable freedom of Ethiopia. I think this is a time is more oppressive than it has to do with that this regime is ending. They know that very well. The situation is such that they even now they have to ask for support with all the intrusion, with all the insights an international law such as gain about way managed sources of it, of the creation of those by you in this repressive regime. I think this is one more reason why your conference in Frankfurt is so. I've all these years since I've been in Ethiopia for the first time in 2000 elections that were stolen, I have always asked my Ethiopian friends of all ethnic groups, of languages, of all people to unite. Next week I hope the European Parliament we will have another initiative in that sense. That now. But that's what I agree with you, friends. Please do all and get organized, put Ethiopia in the political map in Europe, so that the not continue with this Mrs. Merkel, when she was in Ethiopia, she understood clearly. She refused, for instance, to visit the parliament because she felt at the parliament that the real the people who should represent Ethiopia were many of them the diaspora, many living in extremely conditions, but still fight Ethiopia. The leaders like Mrs. need to be confronted with the consequences of their policies, need to be with the fact that they are not supporting. They are only supporting a very you have able people, you have educated people who can target that message very loud and clear through demonstrations in certain positions, through events like now where I hope that practices to make those suffering appear. But you need as well to win in the leadership. You will not want to replace a repressive regime or by total incapacity for government in other parts of the world, and in another country that I know somehow like Libya, without disarray and misgovernance, and so many Ethiopians throughout to the repression in Ethiopia, through Sudan to Libya, trying to safety Europe, thank you in lawless country. Yeah. So you don't want Ethiopia. You don't want that for like you have yourself of lawlessness and failure of state in neighboring Somalia. So it's time to find out. It's time to act leadership. That has to be convergence, unity. It has to be a democratic one. Of course, there are among the different political groups, the different ethnic groups, but what night must than those divisions, and that has to be reflected at the level of the leadership. When 2005, CNN managed to build a platform, vulnerable, the Rainbow Code. It was vulnerable, maybe it was uneven. Some people more experienced than others, more expert than others, but it's there. And the voice, the message passed. Exactly why the regime first still the result of it. The future of Ethiopia is very different. If that time the would have been remember, and including the opposition, when all the Addis Ababa actually went into the opposition. There they couldn't hold the results in Addis Ababa. So it's time for the Ethiopians to learn the lesson from these years, to get together, get the difference, get to the platform, the democratic for the governance of the country, for not allow the to go into a state situation and where you can this one there is indeed governance in Ethiopia, and you need to work that immediately. And uniting is, do not let yourself be deterred. Despicable ways in which the regime tries to discourage people. I know that, for instance, they are trying to use all the labels against their and who know that older Ethiopian will act for someone like Faith that was in the European Parliament. That's that we did with Ina and in the European Parliament. Please don't let it discourage. I know that the Ethiopian friends are facing trials. I know of one case in London of people who branded because they dare to work out to try join forces and work for the future of democratic unity. Don't be discouraged. It's the strategy of all the regimes in despair. They are as terrorists. In my days in my country, when we were living under dictatorship, they used to call us subverts. Now the word is, now you're fighting for justice, for humanity, for good conditions of economic development in the so get together, find this platform of unity, of democratic unity. The differences will be worked out after in a democratic government. But the first thing you need to get rid of oppressive regime that is destroying so many young in Ethiopia. All my best wishes to all of you. Your gathering is already time for all Ethiopia outside as well as Ethiopia. Give a voice to those in your own country. Oh, may you be blessed for your.
Thank you, Ms. Ana Gomes, for your focused and interesting speech. If you have questions, comments, and suggestions, please raise your hand and you can forward your questions to Ms. Ana Gomes.
Those Ethiopians who struggle for freedom because of the burden of the struggle, which is a burden on Ethiopian people. As European Commission leader, you were sent to Africa to observe Ethiopian election, whether the election was conducted according to principles of election. You witness the case was wrong, and you are responsible to give the information to the European Commission, and you was really very responsible person, and you are witnessed what was happening in an abyss, and still you are insist for the case of that liberty of human type. And as I mentioned, those people who really devoted their life for their own people, I will repeat, like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and those who contribute good things like Henry Dunant, a founder of Red Cross. You are among those people. We never forget you in the history of Ethiopian politics. Thank you. The second one is my question. All men and women are born equal and free. But because of all those human creation against human, there are inhuman acts. On the other hand, there is a struggle of freedom, liberty. Since French Revolution, since American independence, since African independence, since Ethiopian Revolution 1966 Ethiopian calendar, there is a struggle for liberty. The truth, the core case, still we are going on this arena. Now, as you are a responsible person on European Commission, you know that Ethiopian regime is absolute dictator. Why Europeans, they are on the side of democracy and the rule of law, they are simply watching and giving help for this dictatorial regime in Ethiopia. Why? And what is your role to change their mind, to stand on the struggler side? That's my simple question. Thank you.
Next question.
You're addressing this question to me?
Yeah, sorry, we have one more question, then you're going to answer those two questions together. The second thing that I want to say is, first I would like to say thank you for your speech. It was really touchy and it was really tough. And you are one of a few foreigners who are in the hearts of Ethiopian people because of your honest feedback and critique on the Ethiopian region. So I would like to say thank you as an Ethiopian activist. My question is, I hope you are informed about one of the top leader of Patriotic Gimbal Sabat, Dr. Tadesse Birru. He was charged with googling some terror sites and visiting the military camp in Eritrea. And in this moment, the UK court is hearing his charges, and as we all know, or as we know, one-man terrorist is a freedom fighter for others. So what is your point of view, or what is your assessment about the UK law about Dr. Tadesse Birru's charge? That is my question, and thank you.
Well, on the first question, I think most European citizens don't know what is going on in Ethiopia. They don't know that their own money, taxpayers, European taxpayers' money, is being waste through development aid, European, but as well of their different state members, big donors to Ethiopia, such as Germany, such as UK, such as France and Italy. Money is wasted because it's actually keeping alive a dictatorship that is oppressing the people of Ethiopia. Most Europeans don't do that. I think I myself know, because I got involved with it since I was designated to be and invited to be the chief observer of the elections in 2005. Otherwise, probably I wouldn't know today. So we have here a problem of communication, of strategy of the Ethiopian opposition to indeed make themselves visible through using the diaspora in the US and in Europe to be organized and not allow themselves to be, as the people of Ethiopia are often divided by this dictatorial regime who wants to divide to rule. So you have to find out a strategy to use the strengths of your presence in different European countries, such as Germany, to make your voices audible, make demonstrations, make strategically, in front of the Ethiopian embassy, in front of the foreign ministry, in front of GTZ or the development agency of that country, exactly highlighting that the policy that they are supposed to serve with all that money is actually not serving the people of Ethiopia, but serving the oppressors, the people of Ethiopia. You can learn a lot from the campaigns. Our great hero, Nelson Mandela, he was just about, well, let's learn what was the campaign with solidarity with the people of South Africa against apartheid. There were many years in which people despaired, but there were many, many years where people every Saturday met in the middle of London just to protest the apartheid regime. There were so many things that can be learned, where you can divide your own tasks to make yourselves visible and audible in all these countries that are very much responsible. I would say that the countries where you need to do this more are the ones who provide the source of the aid for this regime. And I'm saying first and foremost is Germany, then it's UK, then it's Italy, France, Brussels is important because it's the headquarters of the European Union. I wish every one day of the week or of the month there would be a demonstration there in front of the Commission and the Council to make them realize that the policies are basically wrong and are just serving injustice and conflict, the opposite of what European should. Then on the second question, I'm very aware of what is going on with Dr. Tadesse. I can tell you that I spoke with Dr. Tadesse, I spoke with his lawyer. I have said if necessary, I myself can go to London to testify in court that he is not a terrorist. And I think this is another case where indeed the Ethiopians should get together to indeed voice that tremendous injustice is being tagged terrorist. Just recall that Nelson Mandela was also called a terrorist once, and he was only fighting for basic justice, dignity, human rights for his people. So that's exactly the kind of case that needs to be put not just to the court in Britain, but to the people of Britain. People of Britain don't know what is going on. There's also the case of Andegacho Tsege, the case that I've been outraged with. I've been writing letters to the different ministers in Britain, because it's obviously a case where the British authorities were complicit with this handing to the Ethiopian regime, again on the ground of the terrorists. I know Andagachi Tigger very well from 2005. I think he played a very important role in the organization of the democratic opposition in Ethiopia. I know that his family is in pain without him, and it's another outrageous case that you Ethiopians from all over the world, but those in particular who live in Britain, must not allow to go without your clear voice being heard in support of these outstanding Ethiopians. Right to the members of parliament, right freedom, demonstrate in front of the courts, in front of the parliament, make it visible, go and talk to the media, make it visible and show that you are absolutely outraged that these two people who fight for justice and human rights in Ethiopia are unfairly tarred and tried to be intimidated. If you do this for these two outstanding Ethiopians, you would be source of freedom for Ethiopia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Anna. We all are.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can.
I think it goes without saying that we all are, and millions of Ethiopians are grateful for waving the flags of freedom and justice on behalf of Ethiopians, and we have no words to say how much we're grateful and how much we appreciate what you're doing. Although it might be a matter of duty for you, it has got a lot of meanings to Ethiopians. Once I said that, we're pressed for time, but I'll give you a chance for just a couple of minutes to say a couple of words regarding what are the hopes that you see in front of you for Ethiopia in terms of the days of freedom and justice coming. Thanks to you, we reckon the wheels of the repressive regime are coming off, but what hopes do you see in the short term? Thank you.
As I said, friends, you know better what is the situation. I get every day information that really leaves me in shock, like the torture and the killing of a grandmother recently, where we got horrific images. Very, very painful images of young people, of people in the Somalia area, tremendously attacked. I really hurt with all this information, but at the same time, I feel emboldened and encouraged by the courage of many Ethiopians who, despite they know that they will be possibly paying with their lives, they will be tortured, that they will be in prison, they still demonstrate, that they still pick up, they still dare to do the head crossing. So what I can tell you, friends, is I know that we will all, there are some things that I don't know that I will see. These are very dangerous times we live in the world today, with all this world deregulation, with the UN Security Council blocked, with Mr. Trump bombing international law. I mean, like this horrendous declaration that he made about Jerusalem, that will only sow division and conflict, even more so in the Middle East and between Israel and Palestine. These are very dangerous days. There are a lot of things I don't think that I will see in my life that I would like to see in terms of respect for international law, in terms of global governance through indeed a democratic trust as the United Nations. But there are some things where I have an intuition that I will see. And one of them is I'm absolutely persuaded that we will all meet one day and dance to celebrate freedom in Moscow Square. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again. The next time we hope that we'll be speaking to Madam Ana
Good luck
Gomes
for your comment.
Would be in Addis. It won't be on a Skype. It would be a live meeting with Madam Ana Gomes. I would like to say obrigado, obrigado, obrigado.